He's mainly been here because it put him 1,000 miles away from his nearest relative. Gee, I wonder what the story's going to be about. He writes about gay comic books. I want to read about that on the internet, and is a frequent contributor to geeksout.org. That is a website I have to check, and I'm glad to see all our storytellers are here. But most importantly, let's hear it for Devin.
Yeah.
Ooh. Family is overrated. That is one of the core principles of my personal philosophy. When I first heard the theme for this evening, my instinct was to simply deliver a polemic. Release yourself from the bonds of family! Throw off this medieval tribalism! I thought that might be too intense. I've described my family in the past as an ever-expanding void from which there is no escape. I was the only 8th grader who knew his third cousins, never mind what a third cousin was. Insert Irish joke here. For the record, third cousins are your great-grandaunt's grandchildren. The key characteristic of family for my parents was loyalty. Don't speak against your family. Family is important. Remember where you come from. These days, I have trouble understanding how, because two old people had sex a long time ago, I am beholden to every fruit of that union. I was taught to accept the bad with the good and to not question any of it. My grandmother would not answer questions about the family's role in the Civil War. My cousins don't speak about how my grandmother describes Martin Luther King Jr. as the great troublemaker. And somewhere as I speak, there is an uncle or cousin of mine wearing a MAGA hat and going unchallenged about it. I still find that unacceptable, and they do not appreciate that. I was estranged from my parents long before I came out to the handful of relatives I still talk to. The only time I discussed my sexuality with my parents was when I was in 9th grade, and my father, concerned that I still didn't have a girlfriend, turned to me one day and asked, "There's nothing wrong with you, is there?" I said no, and we left the conversation at that. The last time I spoke to a couple of these cousins, I called them dangerous hypocrites not worthy of respect. One tried to retort by saying I had blood on my hands because of all of the abortions. I could go on about that, but I won't. When I came out to one cousin, she said, "I don't understand it and I don't agree with it, but I still love you." Another cousin screamed. Not even words, just "Ah!" I did not become comfortable talking about my sexuality until I was in my early 30s. And during that very long process of self-discovery, I learned that a way of discreetly asking someone, "Are you queer?" was to ask, "Are you family?" The first time I heard that was from a lesbian bartender in Wrigleyville, and at first I thought she was asking me if I was her family, and I was scared that I had stumbled upon a long, distant cousin that I had never met before. But I like this family a lot more. I have a far richer history than what I knew from empty traditions and people with whom I have nothing objective in common. The devoted readers of Oscar Wilde, the activists of the Mattachine Society, the writers at Stonewall, the martyrs of Pulse Nightclub, a Nigerian trans man gospel singer, a non-binary New York City artist, a Latinx guy waiting tables to put himself through nursing school. I get to be part of their family. And they're a hell of a lot more interesting and pleasant to be around than the bitter white people stuck in a trailer park in New Jersey. I've misspoken, though. In my haste to replace people I don't care for, I've gone too far in the other direction. I've become another white guy barging his way into a marginalized space to claim it for myself. I'm conflating too many LGBTQIA people. And yes, that is a lot of letters, but I should not be willing to leave people out because of that. Like my parents and cousins, the gay community, and that choice of words is very much deliberate, can be disappointingly racist. The Human Rights Campaign holds gala events blocks away from homeless black youths. No Asians is seen so frequently on gay dating apps that there are songs written about it. And I've had to yell at other gay guys for being transphobic. So what then? I refuse to feel tethered to people who do not have my best interest at heart, or that of others. I may have more in common with my community, but those who share that flaw with my blood relatives will never be my family. I also cannot exclude the straight friends I cherish. I hesitate to call them allies, because that word has been co-opted by people who want to pat themselves on the back for doing the bare minimum, if nothing at all. If I am ever attacked for my sexuality, I'm not going to need someone with a love is love pin recording it on their phone. I'm going to need someone to use that phone to dial 911 or chuck that phone at one of my attackers' heads before throwing a damn punch. I suppose it's cliche to call one's friends family, but that is the conclusion I've come to. I love the people I keep close to me and cannot imagine my life without them. These are the people who literally talked me off the ledge when I was feeling depressed, who stayed with me at my lowest point when strangers were spitting at my face and insulting me, who don't blanch at secrets but will buy the next round for more details. People who expect nothing but give everything. What makes a family is not loyalty nor community. The defining characteristic is love. Thank you.
Yeah.